I'm Shane Nyland, and my co-host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004. This is part 2 of our interview with John Mark Lopez from Mobile Assault Platoon 2.
No, I remember a lot of our raids, the government center, just because we spent hours at them damn places, and of course we had to provide overwatch, and yeah, those were a big one. And the other thing too, my brother spoke about it too, and I totally forgot about that until he mentioned it in his podcast, where we ended up going to that rooftop of that house.
Yeah, you guys sneaking around.
Yeah, snuck in. Family was in the house. Nobody even realized we were there. Make it up to the rooftop, provide our overwatch, and then I do not remember. I remember somebody hitting something, or somebody made a noise. Somebody who was on the last man, but I don't know if it was my brother or not. But that's where they seen us, and then somebody got hit. It wasn't my guy, so. But yeah, then we end up extracting. But it was pretty cool being on that roof the entire time and not anybody even realizing.
Yeah, you feel like a ninja, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, a ninja with all that shit. Yeah, because it's hard to get around with that crap, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, I just remember a lot of time. Well, the soccer field. I just remember all the night raids we were doing.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. You know what? We had a conversation with somebody else, and I've been meaning to ask more people. Did you ever take any contact inside a house?
No contact in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Majority of the time they would hit us with those IEDs and then the small arm fire.
Right.
And I just remember just dismounting and running toward wherever contact, you know. And
yeah.
Who do we have on the gun? Monroe. I remember Monroe being on the gun.
In the highback, it was Monroe most of the time.
Yeah.
Monroe was a 50 cal gunner, almost the whole deployment. Man,
I was so ready to jump on that thing. I was all spun up, ready to go for the mark. And, you know, after just leaving squad leader stores, I'm like, I was motivated. I'm like, give me on this. You know, and honestly, when I still have pictures of our highbacks, and when I first got there, they're like, this is what you're going to be riding in. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? You know, like, we just had to put together whatever in the hell we could find you know, to reinforce this thing. And I'm like, holy crap. But yeah.
Yeah, it was nice when we finally got those up armored Humvees and transitioned away from the highbacks. But I mean, we still ran a couple highbacks even in the company. I think, you know, because the mortar guys had mostly highbacks. They still had some up armoreds and highbacks.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's a guy here I know. He's in the Air Force. He's like a sergeant major in the Air Force. And he's like, so, you know, where have you gone? What have you done? And I told him about the Romani stuff, and I showed him the vehicle. He goes, you actually rode in that? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I've like seen this in like movies. He's like, there's no way you rode in. I'm like, yeah, this was our vehicle. Like, I was in the back of this damn thing. You know what I mean? He goes, y'all are crazy. He's like, what was on the floorboard? I said, a bunch of sandbags, and that was about it, man.
Yep. Sandbags, a little bit of plate steel if we had extra. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I'm like, shit.
Luck and prayers.
Yeah. You know, I do remember us going on a patrol and an RP round like landed right in front of our truck. You remember that?
Well, it happened a few different times, but yeah.
It was an IED actually, but I remember seeing that, and then like it didn't get anybody, but in my mind, I'm like, man, if that RP would have landed on anybody, it would have messed us up.
That specific one was when there was 2 different platoons out there. I think it was Rainmaker, just because we had similar scheduling, and we were out by the train station. And I don't know if you remember, there was a train that actually still ran, even in the middle of combat and everything else. There'd be a fucking 3-car train going back and forth. I don't know what the hell they were hauling, But there was a train that
I think it was a passenger train, wasn't it?
it was, yeah. Yeah. It had a cargo car and it had a passenger train. There were people on it. Always, all hours a day, there'd be
It
a
was
train.
green, right?
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
man, holy shit, I hadn't thought about this in forever. Okay.
Yeah. We had heard they were going to blow up the tracks. And that was, we still had, no matter how much combat we took, we still had a little bit of a Sasso mindset where we were going to make sure the infrastructure stayed intact. So we always checked on the hospital. We always checked on the power station. We always checked on the fucking dam. And we always checked on this train station and the police station. And we went out to this train station. There was a little elevated road. We were driving down it. And that's what you're talking about. They had chained up a bunch of phosphorus rounds, and that damn phosphorus round went off, and you're right, it landed right next to the high back and burned the front of it and burned a hole in the armor. It didn't hit anybody, but it burned about a good 50-cent piece size hole in the armor.
Yeah. I remember I was like, holy crap, if that would have landed on us, we would have been screwed. And of course, my trunk is probably laughing there in the back, like the way he does, you know what I mean? But,
yeah. I have a picture somewhere of Staff Sergeant Coleman holding up the tail fins of it, and it was still smoking.
Crazy for grabbing a hold of it.
Yeah.
That thing's probably still cooking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's funny. No, man, in my mind, everything was just, because when you're Overwatch, you know what I mean? Most of the time, you know what I mean? We're dismounting, we're just providing security wherever they wanted us, you have all the squad leaders and stuff who were going inside. So I don't really remember going in much in these houses. I remember wherever we went, we're like, whatever corner they put us into, we were just there providing Overwatch for the majority of the stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like our platoon's mission was more of the cordon portion of those raids. We didn't do a lot of the inner work.
Yeah.
A lot of the inner work was done by, again, a lot of the mortar guys, just a lot of Sledgehammer and Rainmaker, just because they had the numbers. They had more numbers to go in the houses. We had U4, and that was it.
That wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
That wasn't a lot of door kicks.
Man, I remember those long days, though, like when we did take contact and we were going, and me and Miranda are going through and we're clearing houses, and I'm like, two of us and him, Knife, and what is that other kid? I can't even remember his name.
Cohen?
Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
Going, you know what I mean? Or not, it was me and Cohen, because he was a Lance Corporal during the time.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. I just remember like, fuck it, let's do this. You know what I mean? I was ready for all that crowd, man. I was gung ho, ready to go. And he's like, you ready? I'm like, let's go. Just kick in the door and vamonos, not knowing what the hell's on the other side. But I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed being at the spot that I was at. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, I do remember us doing a lot of Overwatch. Every time we went to the government center, they're like, all right, vamonos, hear me, us four jumping out and going wherever they needed us, going to the high spots and providing Overwatch. We didn't get all the lucky stuff and going into the house and
right. Yeah.
That's for sure. So
do you happen to remember any times when anything went bad? Any big failures other than not calling in or the IED that we called in and it didn't get called in?
No. I think the only failure we had is when we lost Cundy that day. I don't think we should have been down Route Michigan.
Yeah.
I think that was a bad call in my own opinion, but yeah, because I spoke with Cundy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I hung around with map 3 a lot because of Deverson or Lashard.
Yeah.
Me and Lashard are great buddies. I still remain in contact with him now. Heck, I was in his wedding when he got married, and of course, me and him were always, when I got there, boom, first place I went, was over there to say, what's up, and he's like, what's up, Meech? You can't barely understand the damn word he says, but but he was a great dude, and we were always competitive, on everything. Who's going to have the fastest PFT? Who can do the most pull-ups? Who can do this? Who can do that? But yeah, I talked to a lot of those guys in map 3, Langham, still remain in contact with him as well, on
Yeah.
Facebook that I see, but yeah. Yeah. I don't remember the 81 site. Nylan, what is your MOS?
Me, I'm a tow gunner.
Are you?
Yeah, man. Oh, 352.
Damn, I didn't even realize that until now.
See? Yeah. You didn't know. Yeah. You didn't know. You talked to me every day. You played cards with me most days when you were cheating.
Whoop that ass every day in spades, but never makes sense though. You weren't 81.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's funny.
So now you talk about it a little bit in little bite-sized snippets, but did you feel a lot of stress and pressure while you're over there, and if so, how did you deal with it?
Honestly, no. I wasn't stressed out at all. I was ready for whatever happened, you know what I mean? But that was my mindset. I was just time to myself is really how I coped, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a big talker. I didn't really communicate too much, when we worked together, then yes, but that's why I would just go to my little corner and sit down, and that's how I, dealt with my issues. But I really wasn't stressed out at all. I'm not even worried about dying. I'm like, whatever, we're here, let's do it. You know what I mean? But I believe that's just the mindset we had. I remember joking with people in the truck, like, all right, who's gonna die today, motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, that's just the way you cope, man. But yeah, I wasn't too stressed out then, man. I believe we were in a good platoon, so I really didn't stress out. I got along with all of y'all. The one I forgot about until I listened to the podcast was Randall.
Yeah.
I'm always serious, and I'm like, yeah. But it was a different type of serious. I don't know. I just can't explain it.
Yeah. I was real close with Randall. We did a lot of stuff back in the States and stuff like that. But unfortunately, he's fallen off the face of the earth. I haven't been able to touch base with him for absolutely years now. But
so far as I know, he worked for the federal government in something in the intelligence community. I have no idea anything further than that. I don't even know what agency he worked for. And outside of that, I don't know if I'll ever speak to him again, but I hope so. I like that dude a lot. Hung out with him quite a lot.
He was very smart too.
Very
smart dude. Of course, Tweeter, Swede. Yeah, we had a good group, man. So I really didn't have too much to stress about. You know what I mean? We had good leadership. I was like pissed off that I wasn't in one, but I still took charge. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember much about Lieutenant Stevens? We haven't talked about him much. It seems like, everybody tells individual stories of the enlisted dudes because that's who you interact with the most.
Yes. I liked him a lot. Very motivated to me. Not afraid to make decisions, though, that's for sure. And I think he's on my Facebook.
He may be. I would be surprised. I don't think he uses much social media, but he might be.
I think he's on there, but he doesn't post nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk to him on the phone about every year or two. Not very often.
Is he going to come on the podcast?
So far, he has declined, but we'll see. I'm hoping I can sweet talk him, or I don't know, bribe him or something.
Yeah, but being in that lieutenant position, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably better just to keep your mouth shut.
Well, that is why we always say you can talk about whatever you want, man. And if you just want to talk about how weird it was to be around a bunch of stupid grunts, that'd be great too. Whatever.
Yeah. But he probably has a lot to say, especially being a platoon commander during that whole, deployment. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably pretty stressful for all the leadership up there during that time.
Yeah, I don't envy them in any way. I do credit them with our success by far because we had amazing leaders.
100%.
But I don't envy their position of stress at all.
Yeah. A damn good, platoon commander. I liked him a lot. And then, of course, we had a good platoon sergeant too with Coleman. So
yeah, I love Staff Sergeant Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great people.
Yeah, for sure. But he spent a lot of his time with my brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what truck he was in.
Yeah.
So you're riding with me. I'm like, I remember that. I'm like, good. I was happy with it too. I was, when they're like, you're going to be in the back of this thing, I was happy with it. As long as my brother went in the Humvee, he got the armor Humvee, I do believe, right?
They did. They were the first ones to get the armored Humvee.
They had the armor Humvee, so I was happy with that. But being the older one, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I didn't care as long as took care of my brother, yeah. Well, the one thing I do remember too is walking out of the hooch when we got hit by the mortar attack. It was a lot of mortars, and I was walking out, and then my brother was walking to his truck, and I just see the rounds hitting. I'm like, holy shit! And like, you can't do anything, and I'm like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? And I'm watching my brother trying to run to this damn Humvee, and all these rounds are hitting, and yeah. Well, thinking about it now, I think that was the only stressor thing that I had during this deployment is wondering if anything is going to happen to him.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. I mean, I'm an only child anyway, but even if not, if any of my family was there and I was worried about them, that would drive me insane. You guys are balls out for that. I don't know. It's cool because you guys had a special bond, and I enjoyed the both of you immensely because I hung out with you most days. But God, that had to have been hard.
Yeah, thinking about it now, that was the only stress thing I really had. And then the other time where he almost got hit, machine gun fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were like bumping across the open area or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the machine gun fire happened, and then it went right past him. And of course, I'm coming up, and then I see it, and then my heart just drops. I'm like, fuck. And then, yeah, I can't remember who took the machine gun out.
According to your brother, it was Neil. Neil got out there and took a knee out in the middle of the road and shot him.
Yeah, well, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Neil, man, that was another good dude, man. Very quiet.
Yeah. Well, and you know his story, right? He did the first Persian Gulf War.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was there in 91 and then came back in for round 2.
I remember seeing him back when y'all were in the garrison before even everything happened. And he was in the chow hall, and he was like a lance corporal with a stack. And we're like,
yeah,
who's this guy?
Yeah.
No, like, who is this old dude at the chow hall with the damn little stack going on in the combat action room? And we're like, what the fuck?
He was probably on restrict. It was probably one of the times he was on restriction and having to wear like Bravos or something like that.
100%.
And that was probably it too. But I remember seeing him at the chow hall. But what's strange is coming back and then being in the same platoon as him. I'm like, well, shit, dude. I seen you at the damn chow hall. I was like, this is the oldest fucking lance corporal I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
But the dude's got a rank on him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he was good people, and he was a damn good shot and super calm under fire, which is, I mean, I guess, I don't know, he was 100 years old, so I guess he didn't have to worry about shit.
Well, he ended up going with Sergeant Major Booker doing all that stuff with him.
Yes.
He did?
Yeah. He did that, and then he also got selected with Sakaki and those guys and went with the Delta dudes.
Yeah, the ODA guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that because I was pissed because we were already only 4 men, and then they ended up taking his ass, and then it dropped us down to 3, and I'm like, fuck, here we are dismounting with 3 damn people every time we took contact. That was another thing that pissed me off. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm like, that's like one of our best dudes here, and you're taking him. I understand he's good, but you're leaving us with nothing.
Yeah, that's how it felt all the time. I mean, we deployed with 20 people. Like it was fucking stupid. Yeah, we were so short. Now, I'm trying to remember the end. So I didn't remember your brother leaving early. Did you leave early too, or did you stay all the way to the end? You stayed all the way to the end.
Remember, I told you I had a plan when I left 3-5.
Yeah,
I put my reenlistment package in while I was in country.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I ended up re-enlisting with the multiple of 4 while we were in Ramadi.
Nice.
Tax free, baby, tax free. So yeah, but then I called the monitor while we were there. Before we were, it was like a month out before we left. I reenlisted. Called the monitor. Hey, what's my plan here? And he's like, I'm sending you to DI school. Remember?
I did know that.
Yeah, I think you went to the graduation. I got pictures of your ass there. I think.
I don't, maybe.
I had to look through my pictures, but I'm pretty sure you went.
I don't remember going, but I did go back to Camp Pendleton and went down there a few times. So maybe.
Yeah.
I was in California.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I reenlisted and I stayed with y'all. I know Robert stayed back because everybody ended up leaving and Hampton stayed. And I'm like, what the hell are you still doing here? And he's like, I'm not leaving you by yourself. He's like, I extended another year. I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, me and Hampton ended up staying back. And then of course my brother went home, which he was pissed off that he was having to go back. But I'm like, dude, go live your life. I'm going to reenlist either way, So, I did my reenlistment there and then, yeah, I went back with y'all.
Did you pull out of Hurricane Point with the main body and go over to Junction City for that time period?
Yeah, I went with the main body. I didn't stay back. Well, hell, we were just the dismount guys. I figured they would leave us back a little bit with them, but they didn't. I think it was just all the squad leaders, Nick and all of y'all had to stay back, right?
Yeah, it was me, Jordan, Randall.
Yeah, the left seat, right seat stuff.
Yeah, Staff Sergeant and Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun but a bit of business. But so, well, then you flew back with us. Did you stay with 2-4 for a little bit afterwards, or when did you report to DI school?
January 1.
Okay.
We got back, what, September or something?
Yep. Yeah. Well, 29th, but yeah, 28th.
Yeah. Yeah, we got back. Next thing you know, because he gave me an order for January 1, and I was pissed because I was like, that's literally, I'm barely getting back. I'm not going to have enough time to prep for DI school. He goes, no, you'll be fine, Devil Dog. And he's like, January 1, you report to DI school. So I didn't stay much longer with y'all. So as soon as I got there, hell, we went on our leave after we got back. And then, hell, I ended up reporting back into DI school right after that.
Yeah, that was a short transition.
Yeah.
Did you go home when you came home on leave? Did you take the leave after we got back?
I took a week, maybe. I didn't take the whole 30 days like everybody else did.
Yeah.
So did you so you did DI school on the West Coast, right?
Mm-hmm. See,
and then,
when we got back, don't you remember Sergeant Major Matt calling me out? So
no.
I had to march the entire company back up.
Oh, wait.
That was
yes. Me. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So when we got back and we turn all
you.
weapons in and stuff in,
Yeah.
Like, where you at, Lopez? First Sergeant Mac at the time, well, Sergeant Major, and he's like, where you at? You going to DI school? He said, you taking us up to the barracks. And I'm like, what the hell? So he made me go out there and march the entire freaking platoon or the entire company all the way back up to the barracks. So yeah, that was me, man.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm like, really? I'm like, well, I guess corporal course and sergeant's course paid off then, huh?
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. So did you stay with the platoon then too during that transition period, or were you just trying to transition, and because you were able to stay in housing on Pendleton because you were since you were married?
I was married, so I stayed in base housing. So I was there for a week to go check in, but y'all had a whole month off.
That's right.
Yep. And I didn't take because my previous deployment I already used most of my. When we got back, I used my leave time then. So I had a little bit of leave and I only took like a week or two when I got back.
Well, they were giving us trash can leave.
No, I don't remember. I only remember taking about a week or two.
Okay. Well, then we would have, and then you stuck around for the ball, right?
Yep. went to the ball,
Okay.
did that. That was a good time. And then pretty much after that, I ended up going to DI school uh, there on San Diego. Well, myself and
It's
Deverson. Deverson went with me as well.
so how long did you end up staying in total?
What's that?
How long did you stay in total?
10 years.
Where did you end up after DI school then?
After DI school, so I stayed at the depot for 3.5 years. I got
Okay.
extended 6 more months after some incidents happened on the depot. So uh, I was at Edson Range at the time. So I got fapped out. So I
Hmm.
did 7 platoons in my final platoon. I was lucky. They started taking away the sergeant platoon, you know what I mean? But the battalion commander liked me. He's like, I'm going to let you be a senior as a sergeant. So I had an all sergeant team during that time. So I
Hmm.
got to finish my senior cycle with the all sergeant team, which was great, and but then they needed somebody who was an O3 at Edson Range. So then I got sent to Edson Range as my rest period, you know what I mean? As I got fapped out there, and it was good. I stayed out there getting ready to transition out, but then they're like, we don't have anybody else to stay out here. We had, I think, like 9 hats from Fox Company that got relieved. So they're like, we're extending you. I'm like,
Oh
are you
shit.
kidding me? Because I already had orders, which originally I think I was supposed to go to Hawaii, but then I got extended 6 months later, called the monitor back. And I'm like, hey, my 6 months is up. Am I still getting my orders? And he's like, hell no, Devil Dog, you're going to first LAR. I'm like, what happened to my original orders? You know what I mean? He's like, that shit's terminated when they extended you. And I'm like, here we go again. I get screwed over again. So I end up going to first LAR after that.
Okay. And that's where you finished up.
Yeah, finished up there, went to Afghanistan, and then came back, and then deuces after that. Let me think. I actually got to work all the mortar platoon there too. It was great going into first LAR because they have never used their mortar system. They didn't know they didn't know how to actually work the mortar or how to even use it on the LAV. So I had the
Jeez.
task of training the entire battalion on how to work the mortar system actually in the LAV. And they're like, we don't
Oh shit.
understand this whole thing. I'm like, well, you got to use your rear azimuth. And they're like, what? I'm like, you can't see to the front. So your plotting board is actually just the opposite, and you're using the stakes out the back. And they're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, we didn't understand that. So yeah, it was cool having to teach it. I deployed as a platoon commander, so I had my own platoon, and then yeah, it was great.
Very cool.
Damn, man, that sounds like a good capstone. Did you ever talk about Ramadi while you were when you're finishing out your career? Any of the lessons from Ramadi pay off later?
Yeah, because I was still in my mind, you know what I mean? Like everything from Ramadi, like, 3-5 was great. We had our combat deployment, but the initial ovation is pretty much pushing. You get that sporadic fire. It's nothing like it was in Ramadi. So after Ramadi, all the lessons learned, prepping my kids for it. I'm like, y'all have no clue what you're preparing for. You know what I mean? Like my mindset was way different then. So I trained my platoon hard. Like they thought I was crazy. Actually, my kids call me uh, Team 1000. I'm like, Team 1000. They're like, yes, Staff Sergeant, you came from the future to kill us. I'm like, oh. But they hated me because I was constantly with them. I wasn't that staff NCO that went and, whatever. You know how half of those staff NCOs don't even show up to formation or
Yeah,
go PT with their platoon.
yeah.
Like, I was there every morning. If my guys were doing alpha inspections or uniform, I was there with them. And they're like, who is this guy? And then a lot of the other guys were like, what the hell are you doing? You're making us look. I'm not give a fuck what you look. I'm like, this is my leadership style and this is the way I am. Like, I always told myself, like, I wasn't going to be that shitbag leader who didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And then I got there, and like the sergeants weren't running the platoon. and because they were always getting their hand slapped by the staff NCOs, and then I pull all my sergeants, and I'm like, you run this damn platoon. I'm like, sergeants run the freaking Marine Corps. I'm like, I'm just here if you need me, but you have to take care of this platoon, you know? So, and after all that, my platoon loved me. And, but yeah, they thought I was crazy, but that was just my leadership style, you know? I'll be like, let's go. We're going on the run. Go get all the crew serve weapons out. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, we're running with this shit. Let's go. And I'm like, give me the barrel. And I would run the entire 3 miles with the barrel or whatever it was. And I'm like, here. And I'll toss it back to them. I'm like, here, bitches. I don't want to hear y'all say staff sergeant couldn't do it, or he would, you know what I mean? Because they'll try to come take it from me. I'm like, get the hell away from me. And then you hear my little ass carrying it all the way. And yeah. But man, it was a great experience though. But I got to instill a lot of the stuff that I learned from Ramadi to them. And I'm like, you have no clue what you're going to get into, you know, come Afghanistan, and how much, you know, cardio you're going to need. I'm like, I was kicking indoors and like going nonstop. I'm like, you have to be ready. I'm like, you just can't be, you know, lackadaisical, you know, all the time. I'm like, you have to be prepared. So with that, yeah, Ramadi changed my whole mindset even more, and it pushed me to push my platoon even harder.
Good, man. It's interesting to hear all the fingers that basically went out all the different directions and to all the different places, and in the Marine Corps especially.
Yeah.
And people all say the same thing. They're like, I never stopped preparing, right? That's a very common thread between everybody who stuck in.
And I keep that mindset now, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always a go, 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 you know? Hell, look at me still going to school now, you know?
Yeah.
On my final course for my master's, like, people are like, do you ever stop? I'm like, nah, I'll keep going and figure something else out. I told my wife I may go get my doctoral, and I'm like, she goes, no, we're not doing
that. you can tell her I agree.
Yeah.
What are you getting your master's in?
Huh?
What are you getting your master's in?
Cybersecurity.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm a computer nerd, if y'all didn't. Yeah.
No, is it,
think about that, you know?
Have you been doing that since you got out then?
Computer
science
actually,
stuff?
I'm a retired police officer right now. So I got out, ended up joining the PD here and did that, worked homicide. I was on SWAT, retired from there. And then now, during that time, I got into digital forensics a lot and doing a lot of mobile forensics and then computer stuff. And I'm like, man, I was always a computer nerd, but I never did tell anybody. So, of course, I started going to school more for it while I was with APD. So when I retired, I just transitioned to the jobs, and heck, that's what I do now full time.
Nice. Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's put a little capstone on this. When you look back on Ramadi specifically, because that's what our podcast is about, but and probably in general, your service all over, what does it mean to you, and what do you tell people about it? People that are outside the Marine Corps, I guess, or even other Marines.
You know, like thinking about Ramadi and, you know, the situations we were in, the gear we had, the equipment, the age of these kids, you know what I mean? Like, when I tell people about it, I'm like, y'all have no clue the capabilities like these young people had, man. Like, I sit there and I think about that. Now that I'm older, I'm like, man, look at us. We were a bunch of kids there, and we had 18-year-old night. I was like 21 during that time, maybe. But, you know what I mean? Like, for the little that we had and the abilities that these kids, you know, did everything without any questions, ready to die. I'm like, just seeing it, it's unbelievable. And then sitting back and thinking about everything that we've been through, I'm like, I tell people that story all the time. Yeah. I don't really talk much about my 3-5 stuff. When anybody asks me anything, I talk about the 2-4 deployment, because it's just amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the hell that we went through. And then, you know, just the mindset and the way how everything is and how everybody builds that camaraderie with each other, and everybody's just looking after each other. You know, it's not about yourself. You always want to protect everybody else around you. And And I think that's a big part of it. And people will never understand that unless they're there. But
Yeah.
it's strange to me, man. Like, it's unbelievable what these kids can do, honestly. It really is.
That's a good way to wrap it up, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well said. Well said.
Well, cool, man. Any final thoughts or anything before we sort of shut it down? This has been fucking fantastic.
Shit, man. It's past my bedtime already.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get a bunch of old men together.
Hey, I'm up at 5 a.m. in the gym at 5:30.
Yeah.
No, I know.
So if y'all want to come PT with me, you can.
Nah, man. I'm probably more fit than I've ever been in my life, but I still don't think I can hang with you.
Yeah, I'll slow down a lot after the cancer, man. So no, man, nothing. I just appreciate y'all, giving me the opportunity to be on here. I don't remember much. Like, I don't take detailed notes like my brother does, but
Yeah.
I blame it on the chemo brain.
Yeah. All right,
No,
man.
this has been great, though. I mean, each of these podcasts end up being unique because each individual brings, what they want to tell of the story, and so each one's been great.
Yeah,
and yours has been great too.
Different perspectives, man, especially for the combat replacement guys.
For sure,
100%.
Yeah,
you guys were a huge part of our success.
Yeah,
that's couldn't possibly be stated more. We would have fucking never been able to do anything because we were still running 20 guys.
Unbelievable, man. Y'all were still doing it though.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, we'll talk soon anyway, because I talk to you pretty often anyway. But take care, man. It's good to see you.
All right. Good seeing y'all, man. You have a good evening.
Take it easy, buddy. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe for future episodes on your favorite podcast service.